Osage Trail. We're here on the Western Bifurcation down to Baraboo. We're at the Quincy Bluffs, one of two parking lots here on the Western Bifurcation, and we're heading south to the next parking lot. That's the trail to the Lone Rock, and the bifurcation continues this way. Since the last time we were out here, they got maybe 12 to 15 inches of snow or something like that. And a lot of it's already melted. The weather's been so warm. Ooh, right there. But it's all road today, so no worries about the extra snow. Lots of high water here right off the road, probably from all the melted snow. Got some cranes. Got some water right here. Looks like it's mostly meltwater, but it's moving pretty fast. We come up to 14th Drive and Dyke Drive, and we continue heading east. Got some fresh eggs here. There's some available. Alright, we made it up to 14th Ave where we head south, right by these power lines here. There's some kind of body of water back here, but I don't know if it's public. Glory Lake. As we come up on these hills that we were filming earlier, you can see the landscape start to slope up to them. It just goes up and up back there. Might be hard to tell on camera. It's really neat looking. There's a nice bluff right over there, off to our left, or the east side. Goes up quite a ways. We're just following it now. There's a lot of sandhill cranes out here. This might be tricky to see on camera, but there's another one of these mesas back there. Here's another look at this mesa. It's kind of interesting that this one is shorter than the hill immediately next to it, but it's there. Here's a newer Quincy Bluff parking lot. This one's not on the map, but it's here. And we continue that way. It's kind of hard to make this out, but when I look on the map, I think this right back here is Lone Rock. Lots of sand out here in the central sand section of Wisconsin. So I originally was looking off that way, but then we came around the corner and here's actual Lone Rock. You can see it all the way back there. This is looking towards the south of Lone Rock. And just a lot of sand out here. So I think these other hills in the background are actually Quincy Bluffs. And then this one that's a little bit closer is the Lone Rock. Another Quincy Bluff and Wetlands parking area with Rattlesnake Mound behind it. This is the southern end of a long bluff of mounds that heads north. There's another look at the mound. It's another one of these mesas. Sometimes they're called mounds, sometimes they're called mesas. We made it up to 14th Court and Edgewood Drive, and we continue south. Alright, we've made it to the southern parking lot on the east side of Quincy, Bluff, and Wetlands. And we're going to stop here and have a lunch. And the connector continues that way. Just finishing up here at Quincy Bluff and Wetlands State Natural Area. This is the southeast parking lot, and we continue down this way. Alright, we've come up to 14th Court and Ember Ave. This is Ember Ave, but it's also called 14th Drive on the map. And here we head west. Alright, it looks like we continue this way on the map, which I believe is 14th Drive. That's where we came from, and that's where we're going. Nice little creek right here. Well, it looks like you'd have to cross private property to get to it from here. But there's a bridge coming up. It does kind of look like there's a small dam there. It's moving. There's a bar and grill here. Alright, we've come up to the intersection of County H and 14th Lane. We're by this Schlitz sign. There's like a cool racetrack behind me. That's where we came from. That's the name of that bar and grill back there that smelled good. But we continue this way. The Schlitz sign is actually the White Creek Tavern here on County H. Quite the tavern. Fourteenth and Evergreen. Alright, we made it to the corner of 15th Ave and Fawn Ave. And we take a right and head west down Fawn Ave. Nice old barn right here. Good shaded spot. Good to drink. at Fawn Ave and 15th Lane, and the connector continues down here westward to County Z. Another day on the Ice Age Trail, the Western Bifurcation connector down to Devil's Lake. We're on 15th Lane and Fawn Ave, and we continue down this way to County Z, where we'll head south. All right, we've come up to County Z and Fawn Ave, and we head south down County Z for a couple miles till we get to Highway 82. This is a busy highway, so walk with caution. All right, we made it to County Z and Fern Ave, and we continue down this way yet. A lot of traffic here. There's water coming out of the rock wall. It's pretty cool. There's a look at the other side. See all the layers. All right, that's where we just came from. And we come up to 82. And looks like we gotta head over this bridge, which goes over the Wisconsin River. This is obviously a busier highway, so we'll have to cross with caution. There's our first glimpse of the Wisconsin River. It's got a lot of water in it today from all our meltwater. Big snowstorm we just had. Alright, we made it up to Double H in 82, and we head south here. There's been a lot of traffic over this bridge. Alright, we stopped for a short break here at Double H in 82, and now we continue south this way. There's a map here. Interesting gate right here by the road. Alright, we made it up to Aaron's Road, and we continued on Double H, which is extraordinarily busy. That doesn't look good. The traffic here is crazy. We're going over this narrow bridge. Another gate. There's a lot of water out here today. Bridge back there. Some camping right here on Double H. Alright, we've come up to 55th and Double H. This hike today has felt like one of the most dangerous hikes we've done so far on the Ice Age Trail. There's a ton of traffic here. There's not much room, and the drivers just don't give you much space. This is the second cross we've seen on the side of the road here. But once you get to 55th Street, we head north for a little bit. Down this way. That was just a short little section that headed north, and now we turn to head east. It's March 25th, 2026. Got a little bit of snow holding on. It's about 75 degrees today. It's a beautiful day. Some cool rock formation right off the road here. It's part of the Wisconsin River back there. A lot of water. The water goes all the way back there. Might be hard to see on the camera. Cliff House Road, and we continue south. We're heading actually towards Wisconsin Dells. We've come up to 56th, but we continue south. Nice little place here. Set up a camp. All right, we've come up to 58th and 28th. Right next to the Ho Chunk RV Resort Campground. But we continue south. All right, we made it to Frontier Road, and we continue heading south. All right, this is 28th and 60th. And right here we head back towards Wisconsin River. All right, we made it up to 28th Ave and 60th, where we head south here. But according to the map, about no more than a half mile up this road is a public access beach on the Wisconsin River, which we're gonna go check out right now. The river is pretty high right now. Another day on the Ice Age Trail. Today we're starting at 28th Ave and 60th Street, where we left off last time on the Western Bifurcation. And we're continuing down this way. Might have some rain moving in, we'll see. A lot of standing water here as we approach this bridge. Got some buckets here for $1.50. Alright, we made it to the intersection of Hall Road and 28th. But we continue south. So right off the side of the road we have this really cool bluff back here. Alright, we're in the town of Linden. And I believe we're coming up to Wisconsin Dells shortly. Made it to Bayview Lane. And we continue heading this way. Sounds like there's a lot of vehicle traffic over there, maybe a racetrack. We got a fire back there, but this one it looks like somebody's watching this time. All right, we've come up to 64th Street, which connects with the road we've been walking on, and we continue this way towards the Dells. It sounds like there is a racetrack over here. I know there's a highway, but it also sounds like there's a racetrack. I think there is. There goes a DNR fire truck towards that fire back there. We did see a plane circling around. Maybe hard to tell through the trees, but there is another large bluff back there. Here's a little better look at it. Made it to River Bay Road. There's our sign, River Bay Road. Across the street we have In the Pines. Another campground. There's the Wisconsin River. All right, we just came up to this communication tower at this intersection, and this is mile 45.5 on the connector, and we have 454.5 from the western terminus to Plover River. So I believe this is mile 500 for us, Tula.